he starts hitting the gun, like whacking it as if it's
malfunctioning.
Is he the worst number 2, second only to Yuki Tsunoda? When was the last good race he had?
Maybe don't hire a 14-year-old to race in a professional, sport.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we swim through the tears of all Australian F1 supporters after the dismal McLaren display. And if you've just watched the race and you've just tuned in, you're thinking, Digby, what could this dismal display have been? They got second and third.
What are you talking about, Digby?
Well, if we'd hark back to Hungary, where nothing at all of relevance actually took place to compare it with, McLaren basically just shafted Oscar Piastri of a second place at Monza, gifting Lando Norris an extra 3 points to chase the lead. Not that that's important, but anyway, we are here for your listening pleasure to review the 2025 Italian Grand Prix and preview the next race, which is over in Azerbaijan. Taylor, how are you? Ev, how are you?
Fucking knackered. I'm
Yeah?
struggling this morning. Jesus.
Tay's in on the West Coast, so it's 4 a.m. for him.
That
It's
is
3.
commitment.
3.
3 a.m. in San Diego, whereas for me and Ev, it's a nice 8-10 p.m. So we're doing this from across the globe. So much to talk about in this race. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Great to see Max back in action. Russell doing basically the same thing he does every week. Hadja with some points, and obviously the big talking point, which we will get to pretty much immediately, is what McLaren did. Now, other than avoiding that as a scenario, what is it that you guys took away from this weekend, positively or negatively? Just one thing.
Max crushed it.
I'm really, I was quite pleased to see that Max, 3 months or something that he hasn't been on the podium or a win. What I like every year about this, even though Ferrari, except for that one time Charles Leclerc won, the Tifosi never give up. Somehow, normally when we've had our rugby team go through a long downhill slide. Yeah. Everybody's given up on rugby in Australia, and now we're coming back. But the Tifosi have been on a downward slide for forever, and they're still so vehemently passionate, and that's really great.
Yeah, that was great. Tay, what about you, mate?
Yeah, you didn't hear me say it, but yeah, Max crushed it. I don't know where that speed came from. I mean, I know where it came from, but...
it extends on from our conversation of last week. Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about this. You guys will remember last week we talked about what is it? Is it Max or the car? And that was definitely that didn't answer the question to me this week either, because we had Yuki at 13. So God knows.
Bye,
and it wasn't
Yuki.
I don't think it was just some amazing drive necessarily, but we'll get to Max. We'll get to Max second, because really what everyone wants to hear our opinion on, and what we've all been talking about constantly since the third last lap, is what McLaren did. And look, obviously this is an Australian podcast. Obviously we're big Piastri fans. Obviously we want him to win the Drivers' Championship. And if only Ollie could be here, he could tell you how much he loves Norris and probably give a devil's advocate opinion. However, in our group messages, he seemed a little pissed off to what happened. Now, before I get you guys' opinion, what has bothered me quite a bit has been how much they keep harking back to this Hungary incident. What happened? Well, it's just like Hungary. They owe him for Hungary. And I think... Andrea even brought that up, and I keep thinking that they're bringing that up to distract you from the fact that that is not the same thing, but it's close enough to the same thing that if you didn't really go back and do your research, you'd be like, oh, well, that's fair then. Yeah, so what happened in Hungary was that they gave Piastri the advantageous strategy not knowing that was going to happen, Norris was not leading the race. Norris was given the advantageous strategy, which meant that he undercut, I think, Piastri, and due to no fault of the team, it was just simply a strategic decision. Norris got ahead of Piastri, so he had to give the spot back, and he didn't give it back till right at the last minute, like a bit of a petulant child. Now, why that is very different to this week is because as much as your mate down at work might keep telling you, who's from London, is that he didn't undercut him. There was no undercut to be had. They just did a shit pit for Lando. The gunman had not done his job properly. And I guess maybe McLaren feels strong enough that they can argue, well, you know, it was an undercut, or, you know, it was the tech's fault. Your crew is part of the race. If Max Verstappen has a bad pit and pits for 20 seconds because his crew stuffed up, the F1 doesn't go, well, that doesn't count because it was just your crew, mate. Like, there's a reason the constructors is a whole part of it. And I think they're very lucky that Oscar complied. And as Max said at the end of the race, he'd never have done that. And I think 10 years ago, no driver would have done that. So,
if I can...
Not in 5 years.
Now, let's go. Let's start with Tay. We'll get to you, Ev. Let's start with Tay. Tay, give us a quick rundown of how it made you feel and what you thought, if it was fair, unfair, the right thing to do.
I guess right now there seems to be a real fine line between what is racing and what is scripted, in essence. And I struggle with, and I think we were all going to see this happen anyway with McLaren, when even though they say there's no favoritism, there's no number one driver, it's becoming more and more apparent who they believe their number one driver is.
Yes.
But it's clear who the better driver is. And it seems to go against the narrative that they want. It was super disappointing with how it all played out. I think had it, like, I mean, and what's comical is the fact that, like, you know, you hear the radio chatter and Lando's like, you know, they're talking to Lando, is like, do you want to pit first or do you want to pit afterwards? And essentially, they're like, all right, we're going to pit Oscar first, but as long as there's no undercut, is there any plan for an undercut? And they're like, no, there'll be no undercut.
Yeah.
And so then Phil, Oscar to pit goes fine, standard. I think it was actually a 1.9 pit stop.
1.9.
It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was really good pit stop.
Yeah. And then Lando comes in, and then for whatever reason, do you know which wheel it was? It was like
front left.
Front left. And so it was like a millimeter off or something. And so that was enough of a difference. Like when the guy was putting it on, he came off too early, and so the nut hadn't completely sealed, and he got the green thing or whatever, which then caused that delay. And then he comes back out, and you can see how far a difference that made for Oscar to be. Like, I mean, he would have been right on his ass either way. And then the chatter about, okay, we're going to give it back. And it's just like, why should be Oscar penalized for something that, you know, was just what happens in racing?
Exactly. And Oscar meant, and that's what Oscar said. I thought this was, we discussed, it's a racing incident if your pit fucks up.
Yeah, and all credit to Oscar is the fact that he said, and what all the commenters kept on bringing up was the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a team player and I'll comply with whatever the team wants. Essentially, not verbatim, but he
you didn't. That's not how Lando acted in Hungary.
No, I know, and I think think that's the thing. I think we all know what would have happened if the roles were reversed. Even though Lando says he would have done the same, you know for a fact he would not have.
That's why I brought up The Office the other day, because it reminded me of the Office episode where Michael Scott dresses up as Willy Wonka and he loses the company, they think, millions of dollars. Yes. And he tries to take Dwight to take the fall. Yeah, and then Dwight goes to Jim, well, he said he'd do the same for me. And Jim goes, he can do the same for you right now. And take the ball. Yeah. And Lando's standing there going, well, he would have done the same for me. And he's like, well, he could have done the same. You could have done the same for him in Silverstone, but you didn't. The team didn't. I'll get back to that soon. Anyway, Ev, tell us your thoughts.
Well, I don't know if... Obviously, Lando got interviewed and all that, but what was that radio call like? Because I don't know if that got released. Like, Lando
Which
says,
one?
sorry, Lando, front left gunner had a problem. And then Lando would have said something like,
I want my place back now.
He would have said something. Well, he seems quite level-headed now, and so he would have said like, "Oh, well, second and third, like whatever, or that's racing or something, or don't feel bad about it, or whatever." And then 30 seconds later, Lando, we're going to swap the positions.
Do you honestly believe that's what he would have said?
I don't know.
Lando wouldn't have been like that. He would have been
as
pissed.
if he didn't go, you said he wouldn't undercut me. You said he wouldn't undercut me.
100%.
Anyway.
Look, Lando, we can't. I'm sorry, mate. It's just the gun wasn't working, so you tell him to swap back right now.
Well, then, why don't... Did he think, or was there ever that conversation... Lando, so sorry that gun didn't work. So when are we swapping? Why am I in third exactly? Like, do you think whether or not he was pushing for it, he could have not done it. He could have just
That's true as
refused and looked the bigger man, which is anyway. What I wanted to say earlier was a lot of love for the gunman when he pulled the gun off. And then Lando didn't go, and then his mate who's behind him, he's the guy who pulls the wheel out. He would whacked him on the shoulder and to be pointing to the gun. Then my man looks at the gun, which is blinking red. It goes red off, because it's not finished yet. It has such sensitive sensors to know exactly how torqued that nut needs to be.
That's crazy.
So it's blinking on and off because you haven't tightened it even by a fraction of a millimeter. It's not on yet, right?
Yeah.
There's no grey area with these computers. I love what ran through that guy's head was shit. I fucked up. So he starts hitting the gun. Whacking it as if it's trying to get jostle the batteries inside the remote
gun.
Did you guys see the gun?
Have you turned it off and on?
The first thing is fuck, I've made a mistake. The second thing is oh shit, the whole world is looking at me right now. It's the gun. Now it works. Oh.
Would have been hilarious if he just got up and walked back over to Oscar's side.
Yeah. So the other reason the Hungary thing bothered me was because I think Silverstone is a much, much better example and a much better comparison, because in the belief of the team, they don't feel like they had made the error, or they didn't feel like they were due to be swapped around. So in Silverstone, if you didn't see it, Oscar got given a pretty controversial penalty. On top of that, a really big punishment for the penalty, which was a bit unjust, and McLaren themselves didn't believe that he deserved that penalty. Yeah. And as such, he had to serve a 10-second stop-go penalty in the pits, which then ultimately led to Lando winning and beating him. Now, I argued at the time, if McLaren believed that he didn't deserve that penalty, they should have swapped back. Whereas here, they don't believe Lando deserved to have had that shoddy pit, so they swapped him back. But ultimately,
to play devil's advocate, if I can, to be in all seriousness, Lando, I believe, is getting 160 million or something a year, or he got
definitely not that money.
He got at least 3.5 billion.
What? Where are you getting these numbers?
Lando got a big bumper contract before Oscar did.
Oscar,
I think he's only on 30 mil.
Because
a year.
Formula One
are you
drivers'
saying it's
contracts
the investment?
Are weird. They have funny prerequisites. So, for example, Verstappen is allowed to break his contract. These clauses. Lando, because he was number one at the time, and looking ahead long term, he would have had something in the contract that would be binding to say, you have to treat me like the number one driver that I am.
Oh, I see.
So there may, because there usually is, there may be some sort of...
So Zach's hands are a little tied. They've got to treat him as such.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we don't know, but that type of stuff goes on all the time.
But if that was to be the case, I would forgive them a little bit because they didn't know at the time when they put that in the contract that Lando wasn't as good as Oscar Piastri.
You know what's interesting, though? You know what's real funny? When you think about him potentially racing anywhere else but McLaren, I don't see any other team really wanting him.
I think...
Why is that?
I don't know. There's something
Red Bull would want him because he's young and hip. And he has personality.
I mean, on a marketable aspect, maybe he'd be... But he'll never take a second driver position, though.
Yeah.
Well, not now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's best... I think it's in Oscar's best interest to stay where he is because clearly, even as the second driver, he's likely to
I'm
still
not talking about Oscar. I'm talking about Lando.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Oscar.
No. Lando. Yeah.
Oh, would Red Bull want Lando? I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's young.
He's more of a Mercedes type. Him and George. I don't know. He doesn't really have anywhere else to go, to be honest.
That's my point exactly. I just don't see him going anywhere else. So, what you're saying, if he had any clauses and they had to abide by them based on the contract and stuff, in case he wants to bow out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then the idea of him going to another team, and then that idea of a team. What team would actually want him? For some reason, I just don't see it with him.
I agree. Totally. All right. Well, I think that's all we can say about the incident that hasn't already been said. The main thing that came out of the post-race interviews with the team was more that they're just playing fair. It's a fair play policy, fair racing policy, which is pretty laughable because it's the F1 and racing's not fair.
Yeah.
And you can argue that the only one who lost in this whole situation was Oscar Piastri, and that was unfair. But, it's a PR machine. They're going to hold strong. They're going to think they did the right thing. If they thought it was the wrong thing, they wouldn't have done it because we all know how controversial it looks for them. So
what did you think
let's
of...
move...
I was just going to say, no, I just wanted to touch on the commentators. So, Martin and Crofty and whatever. It's what did you guys think of their whole reasoning of everything? Because it was kind of comical hearing about, it's that's only fair and whatever. And I'm just like, I've never really seen the
defend them
bias.
when Max complained it.
Yeah.
I did. We talked about it not so long ago when Oscar won, and all they could do was talk about what an amazing drive Lando Norris had. I'm like, bitch, this guy just won an amazing race, and all you can talk about is second place. And I used to defend Sky Sports when all of the Dutch used to complain. I'd be like, you're just being sore losers, blah, 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 blah. Max is an erratic driver, yada, yada, yada. And now we're seeing it firsthand, and Oscar hasn't really done anything negative. So there's no reason I don't think you can defend it.
I think
so at least in Max's position, maybe you could. But this time it's like, fellas, maybe just ease up on the dick sucking of Lando and Lewis just one day. All right, let's move on to the man who deserves all the attention this weekend is Max Verstappen. Killer weekend. He started from pole, had to relinquish his race lead to Lando on lap 2 after cutting the corner. They both seem to blame each other, but I think they made the right call. Max was in the wrong, and you can't just take that corner and not give it back. But I guess it's better that he did that than almost drive over the top of him. It was a short-lived lead though, and Max came straight back and took it on lap 4, and he didn't just take that place back. He raced ahead. I think he was something like 21 seconds ahead at one point.
It was a big gap.
It was a big lead.
It was like the smallest.
It was 8. Sorry, it was 8 seconds after 21 laps. I think. So think what it was.
And
it extended for a while.
I was the first time I've been worried because he so deserved this. And I'm the least Max Verstappen supporter. But I was actually getting worried that if a safety car was needed, because I think they were saying, well, hold up, Max has only got hard tyres, whereas McLaren's had softs. So they were like, if he gets tripped up, not only do you lose like 30 seconds worth of a gap you've got from second place, now you're down to here and you've got worse tyres, and the cars seem to be very much more sensitive to tyres. If you look at qualifying, they're kind of like the whole car just didn't work on medium. No, George, he wanted mediums because he thought the soft.
So yeah, we'll get to George. Yeah.
Anyway,
well, this is the thing. So Verstappen had a record race here. So it was 53 laps, which he did in 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 23 seconds, which is almost a minute faster than what Schumacher did in 2003. Verstappen also broke the record for the fastest lap in F1 history, which was around 1:18, I think.
How can they say that as a fact? If, like, Austria, like, I don't know if... I know it has to be a certain length. Like, there's a minimum length to a Formula 1 track. But Silverstone track is like a minute 45, and someone got a minute 18. No, of course,
but what they're saying... But obviously it's all based on the tracks that they use regularly. Like, one of the tracks is going to always have the fastest time.
They need like a Formula 1 combine and just like one track, everybody fights for all of the fastest lap, the top speed. That's it. Just do a combine.
Well,
that'd be great.
Regardless,
I love the combine.
He won this by a convincing 19 seconds. And the only time it really looked like, you were saying, when his tyres were blistering, that he was going to lose it, it only lasted one lap where Lando really started catching up, and they pitted him and he came back out and he was fine again. And I think he probably just went out blistering at a blistering pace, forgive the pun, and towards the end felt like, maybe we'll see how many more laps out of these tyres we can get, slow down, then realised just how much time they lost.
On the radio, was it JP that still does him? He basically GP. Is it GP? JP.
Giampiero. So
JP? Yeah, JP. He basically said, it's like, all right, Max, you're crushing it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, like no risk, just push, or something like that. It was like this.
Yes.
And it was just like, okay, what was he gonna do?
No, he said something like, 100% risk or something. Like, he went, he I don't know if it was a joke or what, but he was like, no, I'm not going to slow down. And it was like, JP's like, try and slow down a little bit. You're still going to win.
Yeah. Nah, I think, Max, there's a little bit of, I've got to prove a point here, I think. And it's the first time I've seen that car be, not last year dominant, but the year before dominant by that much of a margin.
Did you see Verstappen's anything of his post-race stuff?
No. Just purely when he was asked about the whole... there was the radio message when he was like, hey,
yes,
did Oscar just give Lando back the position or something like that? Or someone said it's like...
They told him.
They told him.
This is what I loved about this. Yeah. They told him what happened. He then said, no, how ridiculous. And then they go, well, it's none of our business, mate. I was like, why'd you tell him?
Yeah, it's not. Why did that happen? It was like a his little
I don't get surprised often.
And then
he thought it was comical.
He was asked point blank. Yeah. He was asked point blank in the press conference, would you have done that? He said, no. Of course he wouldn't, because it's Max Verstappen. That's why he's a championship driver. They also were talking to him about how they thought this race was a little boring, despite the opening and the ending. And
so the middle.
It's like, well, it was a shorter race, and it was boring because things didn't have time to unfold. Strategies
there were no
don't work as effectively when you're and so sometimes you're going to have boring races, but if they were all exciting, then we wouldn't be able to appreciate any of them. I thought it was a really great point by him.
That's true.
But really exciting to see him come back, and you know what? This kind of keeps him in the running for the Drivers' Championship. So. The points for Oscar are 324, Lando's 293, and Max is 230. Now, it's unlikely, but it's not game over just yet. What do you think his chances are of claiming that top spot?
I think, I still don't think he'll get it. I think the fact that they had the lower downforce this race worked in their favor because there was no rain. Whereas last time they had this, it ended up raining, which then just fucked him. And they didn't change the wing, and so he was all over the bloody joint.
That's right,
so, I think that was was that Austria? I can't remember which race that was in now. Mm-hmm. But clearly, like, it worked out for them in this sense. He had that much more pace on everybody else that he was always going to be dominant, especially considering the weather was going to be fine. And they didn't have to worry about any of that. Whereas, so I think based on that, what other track coming up will, I guess Azerbaijan will work in favor
the next one.
Well,
maybe, if they give, let's put it this way: if he can do this again at Azerbaijan, I think we're having a new conversation about this, at the possibility of him making a comeback. But
I think it all comes down to if they're able to do the low downforce, and if that works in his favor at any of the upcoming tracks. I don't think he's going to win if he can't do that. I don't think they're going to be competitive. I think they're purely competitive on their pace and their downforce, lack thereof. Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, we move off the podium to fourth place, Mr. Consistent George Russell, who had a particularly boring race. Probably a slightly more interesting qualifying.
Was it George or was it Charles?
Oh, sorry. Charles was fourth. George was fifth. So I was looking at the wrong page. That was the Drivers' Championship. Charles came in fourth. So let's cover Charles and Lewis now.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis had a time penalty which sent him back to, I think it was 10th on the grid. So he had a pretty
after quali.
Pretty six.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he made up 5 places to can't. Four places?
He was 6th.
4 places for 6th. And Charles, came in pretty consistently at 4, other than nipping slightly at the heels of Piastri.
At the
McLaren.
beginning.
There wasn't a lot to write home about with Charles. Yeah, it took Piastri quite a while to get round him, I thought, which was surprising. But it sounded like
a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like the Ferrari had quite a good speed on the straights, because put Russell in the mix here. Russell got basically stuck behind him the whole race, and basically said every time they got onto the straights, he'd pull away again. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing Mercedes could do. They had no pace on him. And Russell had a particularly good quali initially. He topped timesheets. This is where the whole medium tyres thing came from, Ev. He topped it with the mediums and thought they were the way to go, but they switched him off to the soft compound for Q3 despite his protests, and he came in at 5th. Do you think if he'd been on the medium that would have changed his position or made it worse?
Looks like it. Whatever the difference between the medium and soft, besides grip for braking and accelerating and steering, the soft tire, depending on where they are in the spectrum of tires, obviously the harder one, the medium, is going to be, I guess you might get like an extra millimeter of height out of the tire wall, like, because it's not compressing as much. And so perhaps that just a tiny fraction of extra height made the car more like in the pocket. Whereas maybe if you've got a squishier tire, you're losing, however much of a wall. And then maybe you're just squeezing a little bit amount of too much air underneath the car, or what have you. So if you're winning on the mediums, as strange as it may seem, you stick with it. There's no reason not to.
Had they done any testing on the softs prior to that, like in free practice?
I don't know. Well, they've all got their own programs.
Exactly.
3 doesn't really count because you're just getting set up for qualifying. No, I don't know, because they would have had the hards. They would have been riding hards and mediums, and probably not done a lot on softs, because you're just not going to use them in Monza. So yeah, that's all.
It's the only
Well,
reason for quali. Yeah.
They were pretty gutted to have basically dropped down further from Ferrari because Antonelli was way behind.
Oh dear.
So you could argue that maybe it was a successful weekend for Ferrari, taking those points away from Mercedes. It wasn't a bad weekend for Ferrari. It wasn't as good as last year, obviously, because Charles came in and won it. Would we be happy with Ferrari's performance this weekend? Should the Tifosi be happy with the performance this weekend?
I mean,
They seemed happy.
yeah, and they're right there in the middle of it.
Look, Lewis got him like several overtakes, and they were pretty much done all at the same corner, which is right in front of the stand.
What's crazy is that there was barely any broadcasting of that.
Yeah.
Man, I thought the broadcasting was particularly average this week. I was just watching things that I couldn't give a shit about. So this isn't interesting. Show me something I want to watch. This isn't.
I would have loved to have seen those 5 because I'm sure they would have been somewhat nice to watch.
Leclerc and Russell were neck and neck for a while, and basically he'd get close and then he'd pull away on the straights again every time.
He's a tease.
Yeah, and George reckoned if he'd got in front of Leclerc, maybe it would have been a bit more of a challenge for Ferrari, but ultimately the car just wasn't fast enough. And I think Mercedes were expecting more, so I feel like that was a loss for Mercedes and a win for Ferrari, even if you discount the 9th of Antonelli, who was just really giving me plenty of ammunition to say he was one of the worst drivers in the top 10.
Oh my God.
When was the last good race he had?
Maybe don't hire a 14-year-old to race in a professional like sport. What are you doing?
It's so much hate. Anyways, we'll get to him, right?
Well, yeah.
Eventually, he's so far down.
Speaking of mixed reviews, we go to Williams. We'll cover Alex and Carlos because Carlos didn't make the top 10. He was 11th. He had a pretty shitty weekend, but Albon was very, very happy. Like he seems to feel like he had a great weekend. He walked away with a handful of points, and Carlos obviously didn't. Contact with Behrman, I believe.
With Carlos, that was
dumb. What an avoidable crash. So they're coming around one of the S-bands, and Behrman just decided he was going to go. There was no room for him. Carlos had every right to be there, but then Carlos was also under investigation for failing to follow the race director's instructions onto the escape road. But yeah, Behrman in the end got a 10-second penalty for that, so that kind of
he's only got 2 points left.
His day
it was interesting because who was it? It wasn't Nico, I don't think, but for some reason he keeps popping in my head, being controversial again this week.
Ocon?
No, Nico Rosberg. He was, but I don't know if it was in reference to this. I can't remember, but he with Carlos, all the commentators were like, he wasn't all the way ahead. It was Nico. Nico basically was like, you're an idiot. You weren't all the way ahead. Why did you think that you ever had that corner? You know, to the point where you cut him off so badly. There was space there.
That's Behrman. Behrman said he didn't have to cut in so much, which is right. He didn't have to.
Nico Rosberg said that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Behrman was saying on the radio instantly, and I was like, no, he didn't have to, but he had every right to. There was no, he can't see you. You're not up alongside him. He's just taking the corner the way he wants to, and you should be more careful of that. It's an unlucky thing, but I think I mean, maybe Rosberg just maybe in his head he's like, I wouldn't have done that. I don't know.
Says the guy who like famously crashed into his teammate every opportunity he had when Lewis looked like he was going to win.
Yeah,
well, Williams had a bad quali essentially. Both of them out in Q2. They basically had Albon running on a longer stint on the hards, which saw him climb up into the top 10, and he was even running 5th at times, I believe, and mixing with some of the leading cars. And even after he pitted, managed to hold on to a points-paying position, which was great for him. Coming in 7th, I think he actually came in at 8th. What was the Hamilton? Oh, it was that quali. I thought Hamilton got penalised and Albon got a drive. Maybe
good stuff.
No, I've cut that out. Sorry.
This
I thought I read that before. No, I'll cut that bit out.
It's not live.
So Alex he basically said he reckons they had a fantastic strategy and a great car pace. Sainz kind of ran out of luck because they wanted to do the split strategy, and I guess he just got the shitter strategy. Do you feel like that's because they treat Alex as the number one driver? Because
Maybe.
I always feel like Alex has a strong hand in what his team does, and he's been with Williams for a while now.
Yeah.
It's kind of
ever since he got dropped by Red Bull, yeah. I think, yeah. I don't know what's really happened with Carlos, It's really interesting to watch his, I'm not going to say downfall, but it's almost there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He has these moments of brilliance.
Yeah. But I haven't seen any of that for ages, though. What I feel, I mean, obviously it's subjective. Everyone could think what they like about him in that regard. But for me, I don't feel like there's anything outstanding about him, which is really disappointing because I like him.
I always kind of thought that at Ferrari too.
Yeah, exactly. He always, and then, his last season at Ferrari, he pulls out all these great finishes. And
I wonder if that has anything to do with when you've got nothing to lose, it's easier to take risks. And people like him and Lando aren't good at taking risks. And you have to if you want to be a championship driver. And he always
100%.
just felt like he couldn't. I'm sure I said it in the first year we did the pod. He doesn't have a killer instinct. He's just hoping that it'll all work out without really going for it. I mean, Alex was super happy. Like, Alex basically said, I don't want to call it an easy race, but it was a nice one to drive. And he said it always seems when they run the low downforce cars, their balance improves as well.
Yeah.
Many parts of the race were just as quick. They reckon they were as quick as some of the top teams. So he was really happy. But
sorry, go on.
No. Yeah, go.
I was just going to say, it's like, how do you think these guys feel when, at the end of the day, they're still the top 20 drivers of the world, right? And, considering what people view Formula One compared to other race mediums. And the idea of like, oh, you're still shit.
Yeah.
like
Stroll
you're never
is better than anybody.
Yeah.
Like he's
like 100%.
Yeah. Like don't they say it's something like less than 1% of all golfers in the world can shoot under par? That just shows you how like the PGA is the elite of the elite. And it's the same. Like Lance Stroll might have the IQ of a fish, but he's still a better driver than
most.
Than 99.9% of the world. Of 8 billion people.
So I wonder what it's like for, guys like Alex and Carlos and, even Hulkenberg and all these sort of drivers. And they're just like, I'm just setting myself up to make as much money as possible, and then I'll retire. I'll keep racing.
So cynical.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what Alonso's doing. He knows he's never going to get another title.
That.
Yeah. And so, just because I like Alex and I like Carlos. And so this idea that I want the best for them and I would love to see them get a, potential podium.
Like they're really struggling in life.
Yeah, but no, I know. Best for them in the Formula One. But then the idea that realistically, that's just very, very rare that we'll see them on those podiums.
They talk about it a lot in music. Because music is one of those things. Only the top 0.01% even make it to a living wage or whatever, and it's just so much of it. You've just got to accept. If you were born in the wrong city, you've got less chance of making it. If your parents do this, you have less chance of making it. If you meet the wrong people, less chance of making it. So much luck is involved, and it's the same with sport, but especially F1. If you just bad timing, maybe the year you came in, you were only going to get like the 5th best team because that just happened to be the year that everyone wanted the people. Even if you're the best driver, like Lewis's ex-manager was one of the best drivers in the world, but he wasn't Lewis Hamilton, so he didn't get any of the picks. So he was smart enough to go, I'll be your manager, Lewis, and I'll help you out.
That's what Horner did. Horner was smart enough to recognize that. And
Martin Brundle.
Yeah, well.
Martin Brundle, just give me a microphone.
Yeah. So, Yeah, you've got to give it.
Karoon.
Yeah, well,
It's the same. Mind you, though, that's what Bernie Eccleston, didn't he say about Lewis, how, he didn't have enough competition around him at the time, and that's why he was able to dominate for the last 10 seasons.
Yeah, or something.
And it's just like, what a way to fucking completely disregard the things that he has actually achieved and what he's done for that sport.
Yeah, and that's quite.
But this is a common argument. People like to diminish the accomplishments of star players in other eras. Oh, the competition wasn't as good. It's like the whole LeBron and Jordan argument. Oh, yeah, it was easy to win. It's like, you don't know. So stop. I can't remember who said it. It was a great. It's like, you know what? It doesn't matter who was better. Let's just celebrate that at that current point they were the best.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it.
So we'll move on. We'll move away from Lewis Hamilton because he was boring as shit this week again. Another disappointing racer.
What a segue for me.
Yeah. Bortoletto made his top 10 spot.
The lap printing
number
machine.
8 this week. Which makes me feel more sorry for Hulkenberg when he had that DNF. I was genuinely disappointed in him. So
I still can't get the picture of his
DNF'd in the formation lap. Oh, Jesus. It took me a while. To see that. But Bortoletto, great weekend. Sterling effort, coming in 8th. It's his 3rd point score in the last 4 races, which I guess would suggest that the Sauber's doing all right. But it's hard to tell without Nico in the race. But they had a really strong qualifying performance. And basically, it's kind of helping them move up that constructors ladder a little bit. Like, there's still a pretty strong fight for the midfield. Alonso DNF'd, so less points for Aston Martin.
Did you see that clip of his suspension just?
Yeah, so ran over the
curb.
What do you call the curb? The red and white curb. Yeah. Bumps it, just explodes off the car.
But how weak must that have been? Like it was just an interesting. What the guys were saying was like it was that vibration frequency that just changed, which then caused it just to do that.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah, you could do that 100 times and it would be fine.
Anything else, so it's really hard to you can't look at how if a plane crashes, they can reassemble the plane out of parts, and you can't do that with carbon fiber parts because they just disintegrate into shards of carbon.
I may have made this mistake earlier, which would probably have been cut out, but it was Portoletto that gained a spot because of Kimi Antonelli. Alonso crashing. And then Kimi Antonelli getting a 5-second penalty brought him up to 8th. So he had a bit of luck go his way, but obviously Sauber just a bit probably doesn't make up for the fact that Nico didn't even get to race. But he called it almost a perfect race. Good pit stop, great strategy. Everything just seemed to work for them, and I guess luck was on his side, as I said. With Antonelli.
Imagine being Nico. If you're going to work, imagine turning up to work. Was it Principal Skinner or something? There's the bordello in The Simpsons, and he walks in, and then someone sees him, and he walks straight out. So it's like he's getting ready, he's getting focused, he's warming up the tires, and then he gets the call, and he's like looks around and just kind of nobody pays attention to me. He just keeps driving. Brilliant. He just goes out of the paddock into the car. And
he just keeps going.
Bye.
Like Forrest Gump.
Just hoping nobody's seen
at least. It would feel heartbreaking in an F1 race. You have to wait a whole week. But imagine I always thought that, being at the Olympics and then having to wait a whole 4 more years, because you had a false start. You tripped on a hurdle. I always feel so sorry for the F1 drivers when their car just breaks down. You're like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
It's only a week.
Like a sink that's
you'll be okay.
It's just sinking.
But then I guess you don't get to be back at that track for a whole year. I think that's where that kind of pinch comes from.
Especially if it's a track you love, and I think most of them do love Monza just because of the pace of it.
Yes,
and how iconic it is.
It's a beautiful track. I do love. I do. That track is growing on me quite a lot. My mate Kimi Antonelli, didn't have a great weekend again. I don't know how many weeks this has to happen before we start going, is he the worst number 2, second only to Yuki Tsunoda?
I don't think they've...
So if they were in the team, he'd be second to Yuki.
Oh, that's awful.
No. I mean, the only second driver doing worse is Yuki.
Oh, gotcha. Also, I don't think his contract has been renewed yet. So,
no, it hasn't.
Yeah,
No.
so there could be a real...
And I don't think they want him. Like, he's only there as like a favor to Honda.
No, I'm talking
No,
about...
talking about Antonelli, you
Kimi,
idiot.
not Yuki. Don't give a shit about Yuki.
Well, I can tell you what Toto said. Toto said he was very underwhelmed after a tricky weekend. Antonelli qualified 7th, but was promoted to 6th after Lewis's penalty, which was his highest grid spot since 4th in Canada, which was fucking ages ago.
Yeah, I know.
And Russell is consistently 4th, 5th, 3rd, whatever on the grid.
Missed the Sunday.
He received a black and white flag
Beige.
for track limit violations, whilst also earning a 5-second penalty and 1 penalty for forcing Alex Albon off track during the race.
Yeah.
This dropped him to 9th from 8th, and so Albon is now ahead of him in the drivers' standings. So that's got to also hurt Mercedes a little bit, seeing a Williams driver above one of their drivers, considering where they've been in the last few years. So, he beached the car at the exit of Lesmo early in FP2. A lot of things for Wolff to be critical about, really. Antonelli's got very few races. Well, when would you expect to have a contract re-sign, Ev? Like, what's the latest they would sign you back onto the team?
I don't know.
January.
Would it be that late?
I don't know we don't know what kind of contract he would have. Toto thinks, and it's not a hunch anymore because he's saying it out loud. And he is saying that he's carrying over this trauma of poor form. If he's had a bad couple of then he's letting it get under because probably because again he's only 14.
Quicksand.
We can't it's too much to ask for these guys. So yeah.
By the way, listeners, we know he's not 14.
Yeah, and as Taylor was saying,
Mike,
you can just do it on the day of, or whatever the minimum.
Does that happen though? Does that happen? What's on average?
I think it could happen with this. I think that if Toto, as smart as he is, and wasn't him signing Max was meant to be for next year or something or whatever that was. It's meant to be starting 2026, so it'd just be a mediating tactic from Toto to not talk about it or to talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
I
still find it funny that it was a matter of weeks ago that we were all telling everyone how George was going to not get his seat back. Everyone was making fun of George. Oh, he's gone. I'm like, please. Coming in at 10th, Isaac Hadjar, finishing in the points for Visa Cash App Racing Bulls team, while teammate Liam Lawson was up the back in 14th. Now, these guys both actually started up the back. So I think Hadjar started in the pit. Am I correct? And Lawson was back.
No, I don't think Hadjar. I don't think anyone started in the pit.
No, Hadjar started from the pit lane.
Oh, did
Lawson
I did
from
not
18th.
even notice that.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And so it's pretty huge effort.
The Incredibles at the end, where the boy's running in a race, and the guy's like, "You can't win. All right, don't make it too wide." And so Hadjar's like, "Yes, I made the podium," and then his manager's like, "All right, let's bring it back here. Let's not get too much attention from Red Bull." Nobody wants to get promoted.
Well, the team principal, Alan Permain, said it's the second race in a row where he's a little lost for words, and that initially confused me because I was like, he only came 10th, mate, ease up. And then I read that he actually started in the pit lane. I don't think they covered that at all.
I thought you were going to say it was because he was French.
Oh.
No.
I don't know why would I... Oh, that was so funny.
Anyway, it was a faultless race and an incredible drive from Isaac, he said, starting from the pit lane and finishing in the points. I mean, at some point, he's going to just start. It's going to be hard not to notice how well he's doing.
I like him.
It was always going to be about damage limitation, and they did the reverse strategy coupled with a good pace. Worked very well for Isaac, allowing him to take that final point for the race. Obviously, with Alonso dropping out, that kind of helped. But yeah, I mean, that's two great performances by Isaac. Like you said,
like in relative terms, right? Because obviously, you don't compare this race to the last race where he actually did get a podium. But the fact that, as you say, he started in pits, which is essentially last, and then ends up making up 10 spots, is
exactly
it's like a Mario Kart race.
Yeah,
like you never
throws
have
a blue shell.
Yeah.
And even if Behrman hadn't had that penalty, he still would have had 10th. So what, nothing around him really affected. He didn't. No. It wasn't so much of a default win, except for Alonso, who was Nico. It's hard to know what Nico was going to do. But
yeah, I mean, he may might have
affected.
What happened to Lawson? Did he cause another incident?
Yeah, he hit Yuki.
Was it Yuki?
Yeah,
which is comical because they're both blaming. I can just imagine going, this fucking guy.
Oh, this fucking guy.
I was reading something, and there was like, Yuki didn't perform well in the race, and that got compounded by the fact that he was clumsy in his overtake. It wasn't shown. Like we didn't see it on the broadcast.
No,
they didn't show anything this weekend.
No. Yeah, that's not Sky's fault. Sky get it from.
I know. Well, okay. That leaves us with the bottom 10. Nothing that we haven't already spoken about, really. Sainz and Behrman had their little crash. Tsunoda and Lawson had their little crash. The two Frenchies at 15 and 16. Franco Colapinto, the man who took Doohan's spot, again, not performing too well. And our mate, Stroll Watch, coming in at 18th. Stroll, 18th, did nothing all weekend.
I mean, if you want to talk about inconsistency, he goes from being in the top 10 and being like, oh shit, he's up there.
Does he just wake up and go, Dad, I don't feel like racing today. That's okay, son. I'll pay you anyway. Great. Yeah. I'm just going to go for a drive around Monza. I don't know. He's like driving with his phone in his hand on his Snapchat, just going for a stroll around fucking Monza.
Nice.
Anyway,
it's fascinating.
All around a pretty solid race. Nothing too exciting, but I thought I enjoyed it. It was just really just disappointing with Piastri and Norris, especially because it's so close. If it wasn't so close, I wouldn't care so much. But anyway, I hope you guys have been listening closely and been paying attention because it's time for Haas. You've been paying attention, and all the questions this week are basically. What do you call it? When
Italian food related.
When I've said it, comprehension. It's a comprehension quiz this week.
So the answer's in the title. Is that what you're saying? Is there more than one question where the answer's in the
title? So every week we pit Taylor and Evan head to head. I mean, I'm basically out of the equation now because I was so good. They made me the quizmaster.
Unbelievable.
I miss being the quizmaster. I enjoyed coming up with
Mate, you're happy to... You're welcome to do this next time.
I said last week.
No, I'm just saying. I want to do it for you. I'm enjoying... I'm just saying you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you want to, sure.
No.
So this week, Ev won last week, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
To make it 10-9, I think I said it was. So 10-9.
Oh, no, Taylor, I think it was 9-8. Or some shit.
No. I had you even last week. I started you even last week.
Whatever.
Because I'm pretty sure we were all on 9 points or something. Anyway.
This is awful.
Tay's got
dire.
It's full redemption. So, there's no reason you should lose. Mate.
Tay's got nothing to lose. He's going to send it
every time. I feel like you're going to win this week, Tay.
I'll prove you wrong.
Prove me wrong, Tay. Prove me wrong. So every week, up against each other, we have 8 questions. The last 2 questions give you negative if you get it wrong. I've thrown in a bonus question again this week.
Yeah. We'll find that. Maybe not this
Could
week.
we start off with buzzers? Well, Evan, since you love chatting so much, why don't you give me your buzzer for the week?
Dedicated to
Chatty
my favorite post, which was like an Instagram shot on top of the an overpass at Monza, and there were like flags like strewn across whatever. So my buzzer is eat pasta, go faster, because that was the graffiti that was on it.
I actually quite like that. And I'm really happy
was
it
actually
wasn't
quite
an Austin
nice.
Powers line.
Not this time. Not
Yeah,
this time.
same here.
Eat pasta, go faster.
Next time.
Taylor, can you top that?
Mine's short and sweet, and it's purely in reference to Max's response to McLaren, and it's as simple as
Huh? Right, I like that. Okay. All right, well, let's get cracking.
We'll
Now,
see how I do that as a
listen,
buzzer.
listen carefully to these questions because I think you'll know a lot more than usual. I hope. God, I hope so.
Oh,
So I'm imagining there'll be
hell,
some
man.
I
I
fast
can't wait to
jump-ins.
prove you wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, mate. All right. Question one. How long was Lando's pit stop at the end of the race?
Ha!
Taylor.
It was. I'm going to say 4 seconds, but I can't exactly remember the exact.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
I know where
Oh,
you're
no.
going with
Yeah,
this.
it wasn't.
No,
No,
don't say it. Don't say it. Evan. I know what you've done there, Tay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the correct answer less than 4?
You're wrong.
I'm not
Oh,
telling
you're
you.
an idiot.
So, okay, I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Have you got an answer?
No, I don't.
Okay. The answer was 5.9 seconds, which was 4 seconds slower than Oscar
Yeah.
Piastri. So unfortunate there, Tay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Evan,
yeah.
how do you not know that, mate? How many points... Question 2. How many points ahead is Oscar Piastri in the Drivers' Championship now?
Ha!
Taylor.
It is 31.
Yes!
Wow.
Well done.
Look at that.
Well done. I had to
I
double
didn't
check that a
realise
few
how-
times because I'm sure they
Yeah,
said
yeah.
a different number and it didn't seem right to me.
I didn't realize that between second and third, it's only a difference of 3.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so
Not
little,
much.
so it's just like,
No.
you're fine. You're good,
Yeah.
Oscar.
And maybe that's what Oscar's doing is like, yeah, you can have this one, but when
Yeah,
you're
I'll give it
leading
to ya.
next week,
Yeah.
I'll be taking that position back.
Yeah.
I did love that meme that you guys sent, which was, look, Oscar, Lando's crashed his car into the wall, so if you could also do the same, that would be great.
yeah, exactly. You're going to need to give that position back.
Yeah. All right. Tay's on 1. Question 3. How many seconds was Ollie Behrman's penalty for causing a collision with Sainz?
Ha!
It's Taylor.
10.
Yes, correct. Told you it's going to be very comprehensive. Ev looks like he has no idea what I just asked him.
No, I know.
All right.
I knew it was either 5 or 10. And it wasn't a controversy. So.
2-0 to Taylor. Question 4. What number victory was this for Max in 2025?
Ha!
Taylor.
Is third.
Yes. Oh man, you are smashing it this week. Absolutely crushing it. It was Ev last week.
I know.
Ev, are you even listening to the questions? All right.
You are.
We're halfway there. It's 3-0. Question 5. What was Max's record lap time this weekend? He says the fastest lap ever recorded. Taylor.
It was 1 minute 18. Do I
It
have to have
was.
the milliseconds?
No, that's
yeah.
all you need. 1.18.
Cool.
This would be the technical way to say it. 'cause it's actually 18.
Yeah.
I'm 1.18
All right.
in a bit.
Sorry.
So we have 3 questions left. Ev needs 4 points, and there is a bonus point in here. So
Is the
Tay
bonus
would
point
need
4
to
points?
lose a point for him to win. No,
Because
it's just 1
sometimes
point.
it is.
You know, this is just a standard one today
Sometimes-
because it's so
sometimes it
close
is.
in the championship. Sometimes claims will be false. Right. Question 6. Name two of the three. We're on to Azerbaijan trivia now. Name two
Thanks for
of
the
the three.
preference.
Name two of the three races on the 2024 Azerbaijan podium.
What?
Oh, fucking hell.
Two of the three races
There's
on the podium.
Race, the drivers.
So the top. Who were two of the top three races last year in Azerbaijan? You need to give me two names.
Me. What's my Eat pasta, go faster. I'm gonna say
It's
I
taken
wanted
so
you to
long
say
to
it
answer
so
a
badly.
question he can't remember it.
I'm gonna say it was. Well, Max should have been one of them.
Incorrect. All right, on to Taylor.
Fucking.
You need two. I need two.
I'm distracted.
I'm just going to throw out
It's not
then
Max.
just Oscar and Norris.
Yeah.
No, incorrect.
So
Oh,
it was
sorry.
it was such a it was a mix up, eh?
Yeah, that's So we had Piastri
Yeah.
1, Leclerc 2, and Russell 3.
Oh,
man,
okay.
I thought-
So if I had one right,
Yes, yes.
That's what we pay you the
Well,
big bucks for.
what was the bonus question for that one?
It's not. That hasn't got a bonus. The next one.
Oh,
might.
that didn't. Sorry,
That's
I missed
That's why they
it.
pay me the medium bucks. All right. Question 7. It's basically impossible for Tay to lose here. I mean, yeah, unless you get something wrong. So now there are negative points here. So it's 4
Oh, there are?
0. Yeah, there are, but there's also a bonus
Okay.
question that you can redeem yourself.
All right.
What year was the first Azerbaijan?
Wow.
I'm shit at
I'm
these
saying
ones.
it like
I'm
Taylor.
shit at these ones.
What year was the first
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan
It's not
GP?
hard.
Azerbaijan
It's not hard to
GP.
respect the
Azerbaijan.
culture.
It's nothing to do with respect.
Azerbaijan.
It's to do with pronunciation. What year was the
Yeah.
first Azerbaijan GP held?
Eat pasta, go faster. 2014.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ev. That's incorrect. So you're a negative one. But do you want the bonus point? What was that GP called? So the last weekend's GP was the Italian Grand Prix. What
Yes.
was the first Azerbaijan Grand Prix called?
Was it?
It wasn't
Oh,
Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yes. It was the. I think it was the Asian Grand Prix or the China.
You know what? That
it's
would have made
central-
more sense.
Yeah, I remember
It's not the
now.
Asian Grand Prix.
Yes, because
it actually makes no sense.
For the-
It's the
Does
European
he lose another
Grand
point for
Prix.
that?
that's it.
No, he doesn't. It's
Yeah.
the European
Which
Grand
It's
Prix.
funny if you look it
European
up and
does
just
not
look
make
up where
sense.
Azerbaijan is on
it
the
doesn't.
map.
Because I was just reading about all the info today. It's like we've finished the European sector. Now we're off to Azerbaijan,
Yeah.
originally known as the European Grand Prix. It's like, well, that means that's bollocks.
Someone changed
All
the
right.
border.
Well, it's all over. It's all over for Ev. So let's.
That was a whitewash.
This is just for
I
pride.
have-
This is
yeah.
all for pride, Ev. You
Yeah.
need some pride here.
I need
All
to
right,
eat pasta.
and I don't think this is too easy. So hopefully someone gets it. What driver has the most wins at the Azerbaijan circuit?
Eat pasta, go faster. Max.
No. Taylor.
I'm on -2. I'm on -2.
If I'm getting minus points for this,
You can't lose.
it's just one,
-2.
isn't it?
I'm just what driver? Yeah, you're not going to lose. You're going to win.
Yeah.
You've already won.
Yeah. Then I'm just gonna say Lewis.
It's Sergio Perez.
Oh shit! Really? Oh, that's right. He's won like
He's
two.
won the
hasn't he?
most with 2, yeah, because
He's won
when he was
two.
in Red Bull. Red Bull's had the
Yeah.
most wins, I think, as a constructor. So it was a really low number of
That's
most wins.
right.
Oh,
Do I
brilliant.
get a point saying that I got because I got the 2 right? I'll stay at 4.
All right. You look,
Congratulations.
Taylor's the winner. We're back to 10 all. Taylor, big comeback.
Yes.
The comeback king. So
I definitely paid attention those first ones.
You sure did. It was all done in the first few questions. Important start. So we move away from Italy, and as said, we move now on to Azerbaijan, but it is not
And
for a few
yes.
weeks. It'll be on the 21st.
yeah, 21st. Yeah.
But we won't be doing a preview episode, I don't think. I certainly won't be able to do it. So unless Ollie's here. So let's assume not. So we will be back to review that after the race. So let's talk about the preview coming up. What other teams... Look, Azerbaijan's known for its high speed.
I love
but it's also
Azerbaijan.
it's great. It's also very complex and tight half of the track as well. You see a lot of incidents running into the wall. You've got that really tight
the castle
section through the castle. Yeah,
Because you know how all the drivers, even in their spare time, will just be playing F1 25, the game. Do you think, you know how whenever we play, maybe all of you at home, whenever you do something, what I'm trying to say is, nobody has ever finished a single lap of Monaco with damage on. And
100%.
Azerbaijan, do you think Lance
100%.
Stroll has ever played the game and not crashed at Azerbaijan? And it's like,
I don't know. I find Azerbaijan
down.
definitely it's definitely easier than Monaco.
Yeah,
But it is the same thing. If one little error and you're out. But I think it's harder to make that mistake than on Monaco. That pool section in Monaco is pretty close to impossible.
Well, they're so undulating as well.
You go through that so fast.
Yeah.
I think this doesn't have quite the high speed in that section. So
there was a news.
What you do have though.
Yeah.
What you do have at Azerbaijan is that huge high-speed section down the back straight, or front straight, and that was one bit I would find hard in the game somehow. It's like one little mistake on that slight bend, and because you want to get that real fine line as you come through before that final straight. And if you touch that wall, you're out of here. Now, this was the race a few years ago. Was it Stroll or Perez whose tyres exploded? Or was it Max's tyres that exploded? Max's tyres
explode. I think both Max and Perez in the same year.
Yes.
What I was going to say, though, is a couple of weeks ago, it was in the news that in India, contractors were building a highway and it went 90 degrees, like instead of like swooping like a motorway, and so it's like 90 degrees.
Like a highway.
Yeah. And so it's instead of like curving around, and you look at all of Azerbaijan's corners are all 90-degree corners.
90 degrees.
Because they were saying, well, like, of course, no motorway. You can't have cars driving like that on like an 8 lane.
Also, in the F1,
but you can in
Azerbaijan, they're not
in
the but then they're not in the high speed zones of Azerbaijan, and you tend to want to go fast on a motorway. All right, so I expect we'll get a strongish performance from Williams and Red Bull here if, like you were saying, Tay, they get the low downforce right. If they get a good quali, it might be quite hard to touch Max. If he's out in front and gets pole, I think McLaren might find it quite hard to catch him because it's very hard to overtake around those corners. Maybe the first couple, you've got your moments, but you got to be pretty risky.
Just in those first, But I mean, we saw some of those moments, especially with Max. Was that last season or the season before where he was like constantly on? Who's
they
ass
bump?
Was he on?
They have that little
it
bump.
Was Nando's. It was Nando's. I mean Lando's.
God.
Yeah. So I think it should be a fun race. Actually, I'm hoping it will be. I can't. Was it last season where fucking Stroll took someone out?
Yeah, probably. I think so. But it was really unusual because he wasn't really fighting for anything.
No, he wasn't, exactly. And he just clipped someone. It was on the back straight. That really long back straight, you know?
Yeah, I actually can't wait for this race. I didn't see it last year. So, but yeah. So, look, if Max does perform well, it's a bit of momentum for the drivers. Like you said, it's unlikely, but it's not game over. And we saw McLaren come back strong in the second half of last year. So who knows what's coming up.
What will be interesting is that I think, unfortunately, it's going to be one of those races. At least whoever has pole will probably stay there.
Yeah,
for the whole
think so
race.
Too.
I think the battles will be all in the backfield, the mid to back.
All right, the big question is, how many DNFs are we going to get next week? And how important, like, what tier drivers will we see them at? Like, I reckon there'll be about 3 or 4. I think there'll be about 3 or 4, and at least one of them will be one of the top drivers. That is my thought.
You reckon?
That's what I think. Yeah. What do you think?
I wouldn't have put it more than 2.
So just
I
two
don't think-
DNFs.
I think because, with these sort of tracks, it's not just a question of like, yes, everyone knows that it's risky for DNFs and for crashing, so everyone's a little bit more reserved.
Okay.
And I don't think...
I think something bad is going to happen to Lewis.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I think,
As
Do you
your,
remember, like,
as your
when he
camera goes red, your camera just went red.
Okay, so something
bad
bad.
happened.
How many in total? Though?
Yeah, I don't know, 3 or 4. You always like to see more than one.
All right. Well, that's fair enough. Okay.
As
well,
long as everyone's okay. Let's just preference that. As long as everyone's okay.
Before we wrap up, this is a section we like to call What's Verstappenen, where we take any of the big news points of the week and discuss them as quickly as possible. Last week, we actually had a little debate over rightfully or wrongfully who got penalised for the Sainz Antonelli crash. This week, we're going to have another little brief debate. And at least this time, I know Ev knows what we're talking about. I would like you guys to argue for and against the decisions made by McLaren in the Piastri.
Seeing as Tay won last week, should
Norris
he get
debacle.
to choose? He gets like first choice?
No. Seeing as Tay won last week, he gets the easier one this week. So, Tay, you will be Team Piastri, and Ev, you will be Team Zach Brown. So we're at a press conference, and the first person who would get interviewed would be Oscar, but you're allowed to say whatever you want, Oscar. I'm Nico Rosberg. Oscar, seemed like a really unfair move they pulled on you. Seems like they're really favouring Lando. Tell us why they shouldn't have done that. Go, Tay. I'll give you a minute.
Also, I'm gestating. I'm like, I'm like, oh.
You've got a minute
can't
from now.
believe this.
Ev, you got go.
Shut
The
the
minute
fuck
started.
As I just went out there and gave 110%, and I think I did that. I think I gave 110%. Bedazzled. I generally think that at the end of the day, I'm here for the team, and I'll do what I can for the team. And if that's what the team's decision was, then that's what I did. In my little brain, I was thinking, this is bullshit. I should not have had to give the position back. And I should have retained it and come second to increase my lead by 3 points.
No.
But Oscar, wouldn't you say?
I'm doing
Wouldn't you
this
say
in
this
the
is very
background.
similar to Hungary?
I don't
Isn't
like
it just the
talking
same
about
thing?
Hungary because it makes me really angry.
But what I'd like to hear is
And-
tell me why they were in the wrong for making you do this. It's no rules here, mate. Tell us exactly why.
At the end of the day, we're racing. And I can't control what happens in the pits.
Okay.
I'm out here just concentrating on my own race and doing what I can for my race. And if that allows me to be ahead of my teammate, then that's where I'm going to be.
Well said. All right, thank you, Oscar Piastri. We now move over. We now
sarcastically
move over
clapped.
to Zach.
Aussie
We now
accent
move
and
to.
everything.
Sorry, we now move over to Zach Brown. Zach, we saw that you guys had
baby.
a poor pit for Lando, and it seems that you made Oscar suffer for that for the decisions of your team and the bad performance of Lando's pit. Why do you think that was the right move to do?
I'm giving a I'm discontent. What do I have to put up with this type of question? First of all, number one.
Zach always answers questions.
Number one, Toots. I wasn't even there.
I forgot you.
I
were
wasn't
acting as
even
Zach, not
there.
Lando.
What are you doing? I just woke up. You're shoving a microphone. I don't know.
What are you doing in my house?
Who said you were
Keep
staying
going,
over?
F-
No.
You have to redeem yourself from last week.
Yeah.
Come on.
Zach Brown would say Laurent Mekies made the call ultimately. He's there to make that call, and he did what he thought was right. And I will always. That's why it's okay for me to not be there some weekends, because.
But
I agree.
surely Zach, you can't rightfully sit there and say that was fair on Oscar.
Also, you got the wrong fucking guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey man, I
Lionel
chose.
Messi
Fair.
is Red Bull.
What's?
Yeah. You mean Andreas, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Nice one, Zach. That's why you're supposed to be there.
Thanks.
Now,
Anyway,
just
Zach's like
could you
pulling on his
just answer
car.
the question as an Ev? Could you just try and give me an informed decision
Something.
here as why McLaren made the right decision?
I'm not here to debate you, Claire.
You are. That's literally why you're here. And I'm not Claire. I'm Nico Rosberg.
Because they're a pair. They're a pair. Are they? They're like two. One's in one part of the crowd with a mic.
No pair. Just
Yeah.
Nico Rosberg
Holy
in a
shit.
private room with Zach Brown or Andreas, whoever you want to be.
Okay.
Tell
Focus,
me
Ev.
why they made the right decision.
It's not about a right decision. They made a good decision. Yeah, I know it seems a little strange in hindsight. At the time, this is what we believe was right, and that's all we can do. And we
I
had,
thought it was about being good.
yeah, well, good, whatever. I'm speaking American English right now. I'm Zach Brown. Contact. So, it doesn't matter about what this, that, or the other. At the time, we thought the gun malfunctioned. We thought that was unjust, and so we did what we needed to do to make it just. In hindsight, with 2020, no, I wouldn't want to do that again. But
So
I will.
basically what you're saying is if next week Oscar's gun malfunctions, you're not going to give him the place back. That's what you're telling me. I
the whole
understand.
point was
So does that mean Lando's your number one driver?
it's in neither it's in both contracts that neither are the number one driver. Let me
but
go
that's
on
not
the
really true
record
though, is it, Zach?
now.
Yeah. What do you personally think, Zach?
Thank you, Zach. I can tell you, Sky viewers,
I can
that
tell you what my
I've never
shareholders
seen
think,
a
I'll tell you
worse
that.
debate
can
since
tell you.
last week.
I'm pretty
episode.
sure I won again.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I won again.
You definitely did. Congratulations, Oscar. We're all behind you. We all believe in you.
Boo! Oh, the jury hates that decision.
Right, on a serious note, the last thing I'll say, because Max was asked, they were saying that it was a bit of a boring race. Do you think that was a blight on the F1 TV entertainment kind of perspective? Do you think that's a worry for them that it's yet another boring race? Or do you agree with Max in that, sometimes you're going to have races that look boring, but that's what makes the other races exciting? Go, Tay. 10, 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
100%. I do agree with that. Yeah, Max pretty much nailed it in that regard. Like, I don't have a problem with the boring races as long as there's a race and there's progression and you're feeling like, every race to some extent matters. I think had it been a dominant season like we've had previously, then it would have sucked. But at least there was a little bit of an excitement on either end. It sort of made us talk about it. There was things there. And plus, I also I will always like Monza. I think it's a great track in general.
Perfect.
Next year, it might not be a boring race. So, it's all luck of the draw, really, just with how the race plays out and the strategies and whatnot.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right, time's up. Ev, 20 seconds, mate.
I think Tom Cruise, whatever his name was in Thunder Rose, anyway,
Taste the thunder.
said it best when he said, you can't have the sweet unless you have the sour, and I think that's verbatim.
All right. Well,
Vanilla
on that
Sky.
note, we'll
That
leave
should
you
be
guys
your
with
buzzer.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will leave you with that. You cannot have the sweet without the sour. Perfectly said.
That's in the script.
Thank
That
you,
was in the
ladies and
script.
gentlemen, for joining us for yet another entertaining, eventful, and educational
Tay Day
episode
today.
of the Idiots of F1. Thank you to Ev. Thank you to Tay. We will see you in a couple of
worries.
weeks after Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
All right. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.